hello. Okay, so excited that you're here. So yesterday we talked about irresistible offers. And so go back and take a look at that and how to create one for your downline. And so then today we were talking about why would someone join you? Why would someone join you? Okay, and then the difference between a 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure business, and how to get to that 6-figure point, right? And so that's what we're talking about today. And why would somebody buy something from you? And so if you didn't get to listen to any of the videos, or you missed a video, at the top I've actually put links to each of the videos at the top. So click on the links and you'll be actually brought to the proper page so you can watch the videos. And so secondly, we're going to talk about today how to make money off of people who actually will even say no to your business. And so those are the things we're talking about today. And actually, people join you, the business, and not the business. Like if you walk into a dealership, or you walk into to buy something, you don't really buy from the company. If you don't like that person, you will not buy from them. And so the reason why people will buy from you is actually because they fall in love with you, right? If you give them value, if you solve the problems first, like we're talking about creating that relationship. We're talking about solving their problems first, and then you create value into that relationship. You teach them something valuable. You give them value, and then that's why someone will buy from you, is value. Like I've seen so many times on Facebook and all over the place where they're like, buy. Here, I'm drinking my shake today, buy from me. And they're not building that relationship. And when I had first heard about building relationships online, I was like, seriously, that's too much work. But I also was kind of like, how do you do that? Like, how do you build a relationship? And especially organically, it takes a long time to find people and then build a relationship, talking to somebody, asking questions, and then they don't get back to you. And so how do you do that online? And so that's what this is about, and how to scale, to make more, right? And so it's very important actually to promote yourself, to promote your knowledge, promote your expertise. And yesterday we had talked about you attract people like you. And so that's what's awesome too, is if you're attracting people like you, who do you want to attract? And that's who you become. And so that's why learning is so important. And your knowledge and like all of this that we're learning, right? Marketing. And so you're promoting that. So anyway, so how do you actually create that relationship? Instead of being like, buy, please buy my stuff, join my downline on Facebook, right? And the odd time that'll work, but it's very rare, right? You might luck out, but it doesn't happen very often. So how can you give with, there's a quote, and I'm gonna have to read it because I'll never get it right. Okay, so Mike Dillard, he's a really, really awesome marketer. He says, you have to give without want before you can have. And so that's kind of the basis for network marketing. And that's one of the reasons why I love network marketing so much, is because it's not all about us. And it's about helping other people. And the whole thing is bigger than us. And this whole thing that the customer isn't always right, I don't think I agree with that. But anyway, and then there's another quote, and I don't know who says it, but it says, you can build this business online or offline, but you cannot do it without relationships. And so the key in network marketing is actually to build relationships, and to do it either offline or online. And so that's what we're talking about. And so this is actually, I don't know, in your network marketing business, I'm sure one of the first things that they said was, personal development, learn, right? Spend 15 minutes, spend 20 minutes a day, and it'll set you apart from everybody else. And so this is actually really a personal development business. Design is network marketing, right? And so that's what it is. And so like if you look at all the people who are successful at network marketing, I would think that you would agree with me to say that they're leaders, right? And so if you want to be successful at network marketing, you have to be a leader. And to actually be a leader, the biggest step in becoming a leader is to choose to become a leader. And it's not always easy. And if you were to ask me if I thought I was a leader, I wouldn't have really been sure, or I would have been like, I don't know. But I did have to learn to be a leader, and I really had to work at how I talk to myself and how I my self-talk, right? And actually one of the biggest turning points for me, and a huge life changer, of course, is when I was actually my oldest kids were little. They were how old were they? They were one was 6 months, one was a year and a half, and one, or no, like 2.5, because they were two years apart. So 6 months, 2.5, and 4.5. And my husband at the time said, you know what, I'm done. I'm walking out. I'm not wanting this anymore. And he walked out, and I was like, what do I do? And one of my biggest aha moments in that whole experience was I all of a sudden everything changed, right? I was no longer a mom. I was a single mom. I was no longer I was no longer a wife. I was no longer, our friends were no longer our friends. I was like, do I have any friends? Like, everything that I had created within myself, all my whole identity actually was all based on like what people said about me, on my position, and I realized that I had to completely redefine who I was. And so I began talking to myself and rebuilding an identity that wasn't based on what everybody else said, that wasn't based on my position or my identity. And it was like, well, I don't know what you believe, but I really do believe that God said you are wonderfully and beautifully made. And I began going back through all of those things, and I am able, I am more than a conqueror. And I began talking to myself and building myself up. And it came to that point, actually about 6 months later, that I had to decide what I was going to do to support my kids, because I was a stay-at-home mom, and I thought, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? And it was part of the lowest part of my life. And I thought, what would I expect my kids to do? And so I actually decided that moment that I was going to get up, even though I wanted to feel sorry for myself. I wanted to just, stay in bed and cry. And I got up, and I decided that I was going to go back to school, and I was going to become a power engineer. And I don't tell you that because if you knew who I was an absolute wallflower. I was the quietest person, the shyest person. And if I knew you, I'd talk to you. But other than that, I was very quiet. If there was anybody more than one person, I tried to blend in. I very much tried to blend in. And that was the turning point, the pivot point of me having to decide that I needed to be a leader in my family. I needed to be somebody different. And I remember the first day of school. And I thought, okay, I can't do this. I barely passed in high school. And I thought, I'm not smart enough to do this, but I didn't have a choice. The government kind of said, okay, well, you know what, I'll help you out if you go back to school. And so I went back to school, and I thought, I have to do this. And I thought, okay, the Bible says that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And so I thought, okay, if I can believe that I can do this, if I can, I have to step out of my comfort zone. But if I can believe I can do this, I can do this. And so I began saying, okay, and bringing that starting that self-talk, and not letting my self-talk compare myself to others. And it was a huge process. And it was a big deal. And so it was a practice. And I realized that because one of the questions that haunted me the longest time was, why did he leave? Why has he gone? And I concluded that it was because he was no longer thankful. And so I began a journey of being thankful. And I remember sitting my kids down and because they would be fighting and they'd have such a bad attitude, and I'd say, you can't get up until you give me 5 things you're thankful for. And they'd be like, no. And when they decided to start thinking of what they were thankful for, their whole demeanor changed. Like everything changed. And I was like, wow, is that really can it make that much of a difference? And so that's not really what I wanted to talk to you about today, but what you focus on is really what determines everything else. And you know, have you heard of that comment? The more I thought about it, the madder I got. Well, that's exactly it. And so I have since gotten remarried, but that's a whole nother story for another time. And so I went back to school. And so on my first day back to school, I was so incredibly shy, and I was so incredibly quiet, and they ran out of books, and they didn't have enough books for me. And so I sat into class, and the teacher said, turn to page such and such, we're gonna read about blah, blah, blah. And I was so quiet, I couldn't even raise my hand to talk. And I went up to him and I said, excuse me, I don't have a book. And I said it really, really quietly and really timidly. And he looked at me, he goes, you are gonna have to grow up. It's kind of what he said. What did he say exactly? He basically said, you are a power engineer now. You have to stand up. And so I thought, because I said, I don't have a book. And he's like, sit with somebody. And I said, but I don't know anybody. And he's like, you're a power engineer now. You have to take initiative and sit with somebody. And I was like, whoa. And that was my first aha. And I was like, the huge turning point within those 6 months was like, okay, I cannot live in my comfort zone anymore. And so from that day forward, everybody knew who I was. I would enter the classroom and I'd be like, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. And say good morning to everybody. I'd start learning people by names. I was so exhausted because I had 3 kids, 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years. And I was so exhausted and trying to do all this schoolwork and college work, and it was a huge workload. And so during the breaks, I would do cartwheels through the hallways, and all of this story is actually just to tell you that you have to decide. You have to decide. And I thought, okay, well, I'm a leader to my kids, and I don't know if I'm a leader right now or not. But I had to step out of my comfort zone. And so the most successful people are those people that decide. And if you're in network marketing, I'm guessing that you are a leader as well, because I like to make phone calls, to do home parties. Like, that was a big deal to me. And I still hate making phone calls, and I still don't like making phone calls. And I'm sure you'll hear that story. But FY, I hate making phone calls. But I was able to start thinking, okay, I can do a home party. I can talk to people. And so it was this journey. And so I hope that this has helped you a little bit. And so do you think you're a leader? I hope you say yes, but if not, I hope that you can start saying, you know what, I can do this. I can do this. And yeah, you know what? And I heard this analogy a couple days ago about the lizard brain. And this guy actually had this little girl. I think she was like 6 or something. She was gonna swim underneath the water to the other side of the pool. And he said, okay, I'm gonna just let you know, there's gonna be this lizard brain, and he's gonna scream at you, and he's gonna yell, and you're gonna think that you're gonna die. but you just tell that voice to be quiet and you do it anyway. And so she was like, oh, okay. And she dove into the water and swam to the other side. And she got out of the water at the other side and she says, wow, that lizard is loud. And it was that lizard brain. I don't know where that story came from, but he said, there's going to be a lizard brain, something that's going to tell you that you're going to die and that you're going to be freaking out inside. Because that's definitely how I felt, because I was that quiet person. And all of these voices might tell you to be quiet, but you can do this. But I'm going to show you actually how to do it in a less invasive way. Like, I'm making all these videos, but honestly, if that's you, who you are very introvert, I actually give this to my downline and say, here, promote this, and people will come into your downline. So I give these systems to my downline to help them, because then they don't have to do all these videos. And it was a learning curve for me to learn all this and to do videos, but it doesn't have to be that way. And so there is a way, like I said yesterday, to orchestrate it, to arrange it, that you don't need to be you don't need to be, really good at technology. You don't need to know all the answers. Sometimes it's just knowing the right person to do it for you. And so that's what it's about. So that's kind of the shortcut way. We'll actually, the course actually, the click button down below goes more into all of this. Anyway, so that is the story. And so I started changing who I was. I started changing how I talked to myself, and things, like, my life was so different. I am so different because of network marketing. I am so different because of the choices that I had to make. And each time, like, I joined a network marketing business, I had to decide, okay, you know what, I'm going to make these phone calls. And then I realized I don't want to do that no more. And that's why I've created this, how to create relationships online without doing the old school methods. So I really hope that this has just been like an aha, exciting moment, because it definitely was for me, because it's leveraging my time, it's automating, it's being, a different way to be successful. So go be a leader, and people will follow you. And if you're failing in network marketing, that's okay. I was too. So you can either stay and be a leader in your network marketing company, or you can join mine. Like if you love what you do, stay with what you're in. But you can come and join mine too. And I have a ton of awesome network marketing tools and marketing tools, marketing systems for you as well. So it's all about, like, automation, sales funnels, driving crazy traffic, making a lot of money, which is what we want, right? But we want to do it the right way, and we want to build relationships and deliver value. And I've definitely said that a lot. So let's show you how to do this. Like top earners in network marketing, what do they do? If you see a lot of them, often they'll have a website, often they'll have like something that they're giving away. Think about Titleist golf cart clubs. And I was trying to think of a different scenario, but even cookware and different things like that. If you look at it, they have different levels of things to buy, right? If you, so for golf clubs, they'll have like the golf balls, and they'll have the towels, and then they'll have the golf tees that were really inexpensive, and then they'll have all these little inexpensive things, but then you get into expensive things with like a lower end golf bag with golf clubs. And actually the reason why I'm thinking of golf clubs is because my daughter really wants to golf, and so my husband's been looking for these golf clubs, and I'm like, oh my goodness, how expensive do they have to be? They're really $400 or $500, and he's like, oh, you can spend $3,000, and so then you get all of these different levels of how much stuff can be, but they don't start with selling you the $3,000 clubs. They start with selling you the small stuff, and they start building a relationship with you. And so then they're like, hey, I've got this other thing, then they've got the baseball cap, right? And then they've got all these different things. And then they have, all these different things. So how do we apply it to network marketing? And so I'm going to show you how to do that. And so then and I'm also going to show you how to profit for the people who are going to say no to your business. And so we actually call it a value ladder. Like all these, they start buying small, and then they start getting bigger. And so I'm going to actually bring up my whiteboard here right away, and I'll show you. But that's what it is. Okay, I'll actually get my whiteboard out right here. There you go. All right. So it's a value ladder. I'm gonna kind of 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so down here, yeah, you should be able to see this. This is all the free stuff, right? So the stuff that we give away to start creating that relationship. So we've talked a lot about that. But honestly, this is where I want to take them, right? I want to take them here. So this would be to join my downline. Right? And so I really want people to join my downline. And a lot of people start here. They're saying, hey, join me. Hey, I'm drinking my shake from home today. I'm working from home. Please join my business, right? And so that's a lot of people where they start. But what if you started down here? And what if you started giving away free stuff? And you start creating that relationship with somebody. And then once they buy your free stuff, they might buy like a low ticket item here, right? And like an introductory course. And so then they start learning more. They start, seeing more of it, and you start building that relationship. And then it kind of qualifies people because it qualifies people because they want it so bad that they're willing to pay for it. They're willing to vote with their wallet, and they're gonna say, you know what? Yeah, I really loved your free stuff, but at that point they're just getting free stuff. You know what? Anybody will take free stuff. Remember those job, I don't know, those job conventions or whatever, and you go through and they're like, oh, here's free stuff, here's a free pen, with all the different companies, right? And yeah, everybody will just take the free stuff, even though they don't need it. Sometimes they'll take it. But then if you start getting them and saying, hey, if you really like what you heard, well then why don't you learn more and buy this course, which is actually what that button is down below. So you're seeing this in action, right? You're seeing exactly what I'm offering for you, and I hope that you're not offended. But then you're, so it's a low ticket item to say, hey, that people are actually interested. They actually want to vote with their wallet. And then here, it might be something a little bit more, right? And you can put something in there, but here it would be join my downline. And so if you notice, a lot of people will come in at this level. And so that's, I think, why they call it a funnel, right? So down at this level, that would be like up here, right? A lot of people will come through this way here. And a lot of people will want your free stuff. Is that, sorry guys, I'm thinking it's glaring there. And I hope you can see that. Okay, let me try a different color here. So this funnel, a lot of people are gonna want your free stuff, and they're all gonna come in, but then fewer people are going to get your paid stuff, and then fewer people are gonna get your higher ticket item, and then all of a sudden, people are qualifying and saying, hey, I wanna be in your downline. And so that's and then it kind of qualifies who you want to talk to, and you know that they're going to work at the business. You know that they want it real bad. They know, and that's the top here, right? Enjoy the downline. And so you take them through this process of building the relationship, building the just transcending them to a new level, and so that's basically what this is about. And it kind of creates that relationship, it shows you who to talk to, and then you say, oh, hey, I've got all of these different things. When you join me, I've got this and that and the other thing, you know, like a marketing system. And then they'll be like, instead of, it completely flips the whole side of the coin. Because instead of you begging people to come to you, you're actually talking to people, and people are, instead of talking to people and asking them to come to you, people are actually coming to you and saying, hey, can I join your downline? I'll fill out an application, you know, I will do whatever it takes. Can I join your downline? Because they want your marketing system, because people can't, like, what's the biggest problem with network marketers? We can't get leads, and we can't find people to join our business. And so when we have that and we can automate it, well, then it's so incredibly powerful. Sorry, just 1 minute. Finley, I'm doing a video right now. I'll talk to you in a minute. My 4-year-old. I have 5 kids, and so that's number 4. Yeah, my youngest is 2. And so anyway, and so then people are coming to you and asking them to join your downline because you have now gotten yourself an irresistible offer that people want, and it's solving people's problems, and then all of a sudden it completely flips the coin, and not everybody's going to want to join you, and that's okay. I actually have people that love their network marketing business as well, because this is to help them where they're at. So yeah, I might have a couple people that say, okay, you know what, I don't care. I'm gonna forget about my, you know, network marketing company because I'd rather have a marketing system to be able to be successful. And then there's gonna be those people that are like, I love what I am doing in network marketing. Give me the tools to help me learn how to do this in my network marketing company. And so then you're helping both, right? And so you're making money off of the people who don't want to join you. And then people who do want to join you can come into your downline. And so actually, in the beginning here, like this next course, I just use that to pay for my ads. And so then it doesn't cost me anything to bring new customers into my new leads, into my new prospects. It doesn't cost me anything to find those prospects, to find the new people, right? And so they give me a little bit, and then I just put it back into ads. And then in the back end, you know, they join my downline. So that's what this is about. And so it's super exciting. This is definitely the higher value, and then the maybe high value but low cost and not as high of value. But it's the introductory, and so that's exactly what you're seeing here. And so then you kind of can see who really wants what you have, and then you can actually create the own like value ladder for your business. So I really hope that you do that. And this actually works for anything. Like if you think about a chiropractor, I heard this funny story actually, that this wrestling team, they were wrestling and they called the chiropractor and he was busy and he couldn't come. And so somebody just Googled it because they needed a chiropractor, and they Googled it and they said, okay, well, this is how you do the adjustments. And then he went and adjusted everybody in like the whole wrestling team. And they were like, really? It was that easy? So then they called the chiropractor up and kind of complaining. And he, of course, was not very happy about it. But it kind of proves a point. And so then they actually started saying, okay, well, how could he add more value? And so what he ended up doing is saying, okay, well, you can have a free massage. And so then they'd come in and they'd have a free massage, or they'd have a massage for a discount. And so then she would say, oh, you know what, your back's a little out. You should go get adjusted. And so then they'd get adjusted by the chiropractor. And then he said, because when they talked to this chiropractor that was supposed to do all these adjustments for these wrestlers, he said, well, I know more than that. He says, well, why aren't you selling it? And so then they created this value ladder, and he said, okay, well, I know nutrition and I need health. And so then he started creating these selling the nutrition products, and he started selling the nutrition education, and charging like $2,000, $5,000 for that on the top end. And so then it became a very lucrative, very profitable. And so this can actually be for any kind of business, you know, figure out what your bait is, figure out what you can give away, and then how can you create that relationships, you know. Then he did chiropractic, then he went and did the nutrition products, and then the education. And so I hope this all makes sense. And so now we're actually, it's the lifeline of the lead, right? It's creating that relationship. And if you understand creating that relationship, you'll actually you'll make more money, because then at the top end, you can, you know, maybe there'll be $1,000 course in there somewhere or whatever, like then you can make this to be profitable. And so like McDonald's, I better look at my notes here. They spent $1.91. They've got it all figured out, that they spend $1.91 in ads to get one person to their store. And so when they sell a hamburger, they all of a sudden have made it's a $2 hamburger. They've all of a sudden made 9 cents, right? And so then it's like, hey, would you like fries with that? Hey, would you like a drink with that? And then it's all these upsells to increase that value. So then they can spend more money, or they can have that profit for their business, right? How many times have you said, oh, would you like the supersize, right? And so then it's the value. You're creating that value. It's the lifeline of the lead. And if you don't understand that, it does fail, because a buyer is a buyer is a buyer, and they're more likely to buy from you again if they've already bought from you. And so then you can automate it, and that's where it gets really powerful, because you can talk to people without talking to people. You record it once, you make it once, just like this course that you're in right now. They can do it on their time, and then you're not trying to figure out three-way calls and home parties and all of these things. And so I hope that all makes sense. This is a little bit of a longer video, so I will let you go now. And I hope to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to talk about a little bit more about a funnel. And so I'm so excited. Thank you for joining me today. And it's super exciting. And I hope that this all made sense. Okay, I just want to make sure that I didn't forget anything. Okay, I think I got everything. You have an awesome day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Click the button below, grab that course. Make sure you watch these 5 videos. They are awesome, and they have a lot of, I really, I don't mean to toot my own horn and say that they're awesome. I'm just saying that I have learned so much from this whole course, and it's completely, like, the whole results is awesome. I am so super excited about it. And so I really wanted to help you, and that's what I'm really excited about. And so watch these 5 videos, go through them. I did make them available for you right away for the people who didn't want to wait, because I hate to wait, and that's why I put the links way up above, but they do get emailed to you every day. And then once you buy, it'll go deeper into this, and it'll just make a lot more sense, and how to do it, and how to put it together, and how to do it without tech, like the tech overwhelm and whatnot. And so super awesome. Thanks for joining me. I'll talk to you later. See you tomorrow for more about funnels. Bye.